All right, guys, I want to give you a concise, complete description of my new on-the-go, easy-to-shoot-yourself video shooting and editing and uploading system. And this M50 camera is beautiful, so cute, little, light, fits in the palm of your hand, and it's a sweetheart. It has its own system of lenses, of course, M-series lenses, but I also got the adapter for the EF lenses, so I can put my lenses from my 70D on here. By the way, that 70D cratered and the motherboard went on it. We made that Error 70 or whatever, we were trying to shoot something that day. Anyway, I went online and found out that last year Canon came up with a free fix for your 70D camera if it quits working. It just won't turn on anymore. And so all I had to do was mail it away in Canada to Brampton or someplace. And they'll supposedly fix it and send it back. We'll see anyway, but it's worth a try. I was going to just chuck it. But anyway, this camera here seems to be like the real deal. But let me give you first the few little negative things. One of the biggest things is the plug-in for the microphone. It's hard to open. You plug in your mic, your onboard mic, you know, for a shot mic or whatever, and then you can't open the articulating screen properly without unplugging it and that kind of thing. It's a simple fix. All you have to do is leave your articulating screen open face out, right, when you close it against the camera body, and then you can just swing it around and it'll be fine. Otherwise, it's a bit awkward, but we get used to that. That's not a big deal. Another thing that is really a bit of a negative is you can't see the audio record levels while you're shooting. Like normally I'm looking at the camera, I can see the LCD display there on my 70D, I can see the little, you know, audio thing. So you got to make sure it's set right and that it's working. But here's the real deal now. The M50 will connect right to my iPad through the Canon Connect app. It's a goofy thing. If you follow the instructions, you'll never get it. But if you just fiddle around with it, you'll hook it up. But the really neat thing is that I can run the entire camera through this app on the iPad, and it used to be just stills, but you know, you could shoot stills and you could download stills to your iPad and that kind of thing and then upload them to the internet or whatever. Now you can run the entire camera. Right now I'm running the video from here. There's my stop and start record button. But also an interesting thing is the record levels do show up on the iPad. So if you're using the iPad as a monitor for shooting, you do have record levels on there. So that's a good thing. But I love this thing because I can actually focus, set light, run the entire camera from the iPad. So that's going to be a real benefit, especially when you're shooting alone. Other little bit of a problem is they say the 4K recording on this M50 because it crops it quite a bit. Now the 4K works and you can use it, but you might have to use slightly different lenses. When you fire up the camera, you get this screen that says you need to open the lens. It looks like this. You got to push this little button, turn the lens so that the lens is free. So you're not just turning the camera on and shooting like you normally do. You've got to have this little activity through the lens here and release the button and turn the thing to get the lens open and get the camera ready to shoot. So I think that's a bit of a nuisance, but it does make it really compact because when you put the lens away, now this lens here is the kit camera lens, the one that comes with it, and they do have some good lenses, not a wide variety, but I think they probably got enough. There's like another dozen different lenses you can get for them, and some of them look really good. Especially the low light ones. I really need something like that because this camera is really, really good with low light. And then from there, I bought the LumaFusion app for the iPad, and that thing is absolutely amazing. It can do pretty well anything that I could do with Premiere or Final Cut Pro. The other big deal with the LumaFusion and of course the iPad is because you do not have a file access system on the iPad. You can't just plug a drive right into it and have all of your videos there, although there's lots of room on the iPad hard drive, but it'd still be a lot of shuffling around. I like to carry all of my Continuum photos from the last 30, 40 years with me wherever I go, because you're always reaching back to pull something out to make a promo or, you know, talk about something or something that's changed in someone's life, whatever it may be. You got pictures of all of our kids when they were babies, you know, if you need them. And so I love that. So what I've done is I bought this WD Passport wireless drive, which is another kind of a miracle thing. Now you can get a digital drive. This is actually a hard drive. A digital drive costs you about $1,100 Canadian for the big one. This was about $200 and some for a 4 gigabyte. So it's got an actual physical drive in it. But basically what it does is I can, through my computer, through the USB, or an SD card, if you're shooting with the M50 or whatever camera you got, you fire your SD card into there, it'll automatically download whatever's on that SD card and put it in a folder on this drive. And so then what happens is you open the LumaFusion app on your iPad, and this drive shows up as one of the sources of video. So you can take video or pictures from your iPad storage, or you can take it from this WD Passport, which is amazing because I got 4 gigabytes. I can have 4 gigabytes worth of stuff in there, and all of the videos, and plus we put in, we'll have a folder with our intros and extras and whatever text, whatever graphics and those kind of things that we want to use constantly and consistently. We have all of those in there as well. But the real deal is going to be the content that we have. People are going to follow us because of our content. And what we're talking about here with this setup is that I can produce content all by myself every day in a few minutes and keep our following happy, keep the people that are watching us up to date on what's going on as we travel across Asia and all the amazing things that God is doing. So I've just gathered the equipment, I put it together, and there'll be some more pieces that I'm adding later, but basically this is it. And of course I use my Sennheiser wireless packs to run the audio through. When you're just by yourself, that works perfectly. We don't need any more than that, really. It becomes a bit of a problem when we're shooting with 2 people though. So we might look at one of those Tascam tripod mounted little mixers where you can put 2 mics into one, into the mixer, and then run it into your camera or whatever. I think that might be a real benefit. But otherwise, okay, we're looking at $270 for this. Of course, the iPad is $2,000. But you need one anyway, And with the pencil, the Apple Pencil 2 and LumaFusion, these two are a pair, man. They work so good together. You wouldn't want it. You could do it, but you wouldn't want to do it with it. Let's just go for what you need, guys. Let's not waste time, right? Let's go for what it is that we need. And I'm thinking of actually leaving my, what do they call that little thing? Oh yeah, laptop. Just leaving it somewhere in a cupboard because I'm hopefully not going to have to use it anymore. So that's kind of the roundup. The camera was $850. Just bought a light little tripod for $80. These things are about, I don't know, they're 500 and something, 700 and something, I'm not sure. And also I've got a shot mic, my Rode shot mic, which I'll use on top of my camera, which is a few $100s as well. But equipment's become very cheap. I mean, we're talking about a whole studio setup here that for right to the editing, right to the uploading. So the SIM card in the iPad, and I can upload anywhere, which has been working really good. So so that's the deal.